have gone on the lathe. The lathe is an Axminster AT1628 Trade Series. I've had it for about 7 years, and in that time I've given it a really good workout. So it's time to change the bearings on this. I know this is quite a popular lathe and quite a few people have got it, so I thought we'd do a bit of a video guide on to how to change the bearings. Once I've got the bearings out, I'll be able to give you the codes on the side, and then you'll be able to order the bearings before you make a start on the project. So we will start by opening this up, loosening the belt off and removing that end handle here. So I am going to use, to start with, I'm going to use a 3 and 4mm Allen key, so we'll make a start with that. I've got a tray to put my bits in, and I've got a magnetic tray that we can use for those small parts if necessary. So, get some light on the subject. This just exposes the pulleys inside. So you can see inside the lathe there's 2 pulleys, a high and a low ratio, with the belt driving it. The belt is held under tension by the motor, so we loosen that off and the belt comes away from the pulleys, and that means the motor is, I'm going to move that back out of the way, the motor is now not driving it, so even if the lathe could be turned on, it wouldn't do anything. The lathe, as you can see, is unplugged. There's no power to it, so we can't turn it on, so it's all nice and safe. So to start with, we're going to take this end off, and that uses the 3mm Allen key. There's looks like 2 grub screws on here, so we'll just undo those. It's quite stiff, but that's probably because of all the sawdust that has built up in the threads. And there we go.
You've never undone it before.
No. So just loosen those off. There we are. There we are. So that's just the handle. 2 Allen grub screws that holds onto the drive shaft there. So we've undone that. We'll give that a clean up before we put it back on. Right. Now we need to lock the spindle off to prevent it from moving. A bit of steel bar to lock that in place. And then we need a C spanner. I don't have a C spanner, so I am going to use the spanner that came with the Record Power chuck, because that does the same thing. It should do the same thing.
You can't use words like that.
You have to edit it out. Minor issue. The nut is too big to go in the old. Right, I've got it locked. we go. Right. So I'm assuming that's one of the bearings, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a collar with Phillips screws there. What's the next stage in this? Because this obviously needs to be loosened so that it can slide, but it doesn't want to.
Yeah, it's a bit full.
Yeah, that was the locking nut. Didn't see where it fell though. Okay.
You've got a magnetic property thing somewhere.
Yeah. And there's no. There's nothing on here that shows that this bit unscrews, is there?
No.
So it must be this end. Do you think that just taps out?
It'll be a friction fit in.
Is it moving?
Maybe slightly.
Oh, that moved.
There's not a circle holding it in anywhere.
Can't see any circlips.
The only circle posting is down there. That's to hold the lock in.
Well, I'm wondering whether it goes out that way.
It's moving the bearing.
But that's definitely hitting against something.
The other bearings.
That's not moving.
You got your screwdriver?
So we've undone the two Allen headed grub screws that holds this in place. This now slides away. And you can see that there's a little bit of a bar there where the pulley lines up onto. We've also got 4 screws here which will need to be removed so that we can tap this out. They're Phillips head screws. So we should just undo those.
And just squirt.
Okay.
Do they need a squirt?
No, it's just getting the angle of the screwdriver in there. Might actually see whether I can. Access them better from the front. That yellow thing there is a sensor that drives the RPM. So as the screws flick past that sensor, it will give you your RPM reading. Take the sensor off. Because it's a locking nut. You pop that on there. Do you want to have a quick hoover out of the dirt inside first, in case we drop it?
I think you might be alright.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
We off?
Yeah. Be careful. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You got the washer as well?
Yeah.
Nice. Coolio, so we should now
Are we taking them all the way out?
yeah, because they'll need to come off so that the shaft will tap out. Them's in there proper, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So in theory, now that everything is moving up and down that shaft, it should just be a case of tapping it out. need a different bit of
different branch.
different bit of persuasion.
Almost. Almost. Roll the bearings along it. Yep.
Did I hear something fall out on the floor?
Yeah, there's bits of wood off the end of it.
Woo!
Right, so that's the pulley. And the belt. That's the pulley. That's the drive belt. It makes sense to find a replacement belt at the same time, although this doesn't look like it's worn.
It is 7 years old though.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to go through all this hassle again just because we've forgotten to... We didn't change the belt at the same time as changing the bearings. Gosh, look at that. Give that a bit of a clean.
Different size and then beat it.
That's what I'm thinking.
There you are, just keep pushing, it's nearly out. There you go.
Well, that was useful.
Good job the belt was there, it caught it.
Bit of timber up against the end. There we are. So this is the rear. This is the rear bearing, and it is a 6205Z. Don't know whether you can get that.
If you hold it against your tummy, because that's a dark background.
So the number is there. See that?
Yeah, hold it steady. There you go. Okay.
And then round here it says TPI. Got that?
Bear with yeah.
And then it just says
Doesn't say anything.
Taiwan. That's them coming. Job done. So I'm assuming those are a shim, are they?
Yeah, I'd keep all them together ones. 60072. Both of them look to be it.
They should be the same. Cool.
I assume that's it, because they're both 60072.
Excellent. So, bearings that were taken off of the lathe. There's two of these large bearings, and that code is stamped on the bearing,
Which we showed last time.
So the code is 6007Z for the large bearings, and the small bearings are 6205Z. We'll put that in the description below. Those three bearings you can buy direct from Axminster, and we'll charge you £33.36 each for the big bearing and £8.98 for the little bearing. So that gives you a total of 75.70. I went to our local supplier, which is Henderson Bearing down in Ringwood. They've charged me a total of 21.67. So the two large bearings, which are exactly the same, they're £6.62 each, excluding VAT, and the small bearing is £4.82, excluding VAT, so a total of £21.67 with VAT. So it does pay to go to your local supplier, and they were really helpful. So these are the high quality bearings, so they should last a bit longer than the ones that came out. So yeah, it does pay to shop around. I'll put the details of Henderson Bearings in the description below as well. Okay, so we've got the bearings off. We just need to put them back onto the shaft. Pipe and the blocks. That worked. Happy days.
We happy?
Yeah, I think so.
It's going to get the other ones now. You're getting them one at a time, or are you doing it?
Yeah. That way they stay covered.
Yeah.
Well, that don't want to do nothing. Now it does.
But it's not on straight though.
That's right, it'll straighten itself up as we...
Mind the fingies. Please mind the fingies.
Mind the gap.
Mr. Matthews, why are you now part of that hand clinic?
Does it need another one? That's not going anywhere, is it?
No.
Does it need more?
Won't it squeeze up in the thingy anyway when it goes back in?
So. Might well give it a wipe down with a cloth or something.
Yeah, we can do that.
And the next one?
No, the next one goes at the other side of the tail strap. We've got to slide that one first.
Ah, right. Are you happy? Are you happy?
Don't know.
What's the matter?
There's a little bit of movement.
So do we need to tap the...
It might be worth tapping it again.
That's all right, we'll tap it again.
Do 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 do
I
do.
don't put it in and find out that it's too long. You know?
Better to tap it a couple of times and be sure, hey.
I thought we were being gentle with it.
Huh?
I thought we were going to be gentle with it.
It's general way.
I wonder whether...
It's not a direct hit to it, so.
No, I wonder whether the inner circle is slightly wider to allow for that bit of play.
Might be. Right, what's next?
Put in the lathe.
Okay, so we're just going to speed through this section. This is where Ben and I were working out how to get the drive shaft back in. This took it is just a reverse of what we did to take it out, but as you'll see, there's a little bit of fettling involved with getting the first set of bearings put in, whilst making sure the pulley lines up, and lining up the drive belt with the pulleys. Mentioning the drive belt, you haven't seen, but you need to make sure that you fit the drive belt onto the drive pulley and have it loosely set over the drive shaft before you put it all back together. Otherwise you'll be cursing and have to take it back out. So as you can see, we've used a piece of wood just to persuade the bearings into the housing, and the pulley is located in place. And what you can see we're doing now is just aligning the pulley, putting the drive belt on the pulley and aligning the pulley to make sure that the belt sits exactly right with the drive pulley. Okay, so we've got the shaft in place, we've lined the pulley up, and what you can see I'm doing here is just using the mole grips to tighten the Allen headed lock nut on the pulley. You saw that there were two lock nuts on the pulley when we took it apart, and because it's only a 3mm Allen key, you can't get much grip on it, so I'm just using a pair of grips just to tighten that up. Now we're going to put in the Phillips head screws that are on the left hand end of the drive shaft, and these are the screws that will register with the sensor to generate the RPM. Yeah. So we're now just going to fit the RPM sensor. The little yellow box you'll see in my hand shortly is the sensor. It has a red LED inside the sensor, and that will flash when it is in the right proximity to the Phillips head screws on the shaft. Once you've fitted the sensor, tighten it up most of the way, but allow it to be loose enough so that you can adjust it, and then you need to adjust the sensor so that the red LED light comes on. At that point it will be in the right proximity to the screws to register the RPM. Right, so it's got to go like that, hasn't it? Because that's the register.
Okay. I don't know. I can't remember how it came on the first time.
Or maybe it's wrong the other way around. No.
Let's get both bearings in first.
Okay, I'll go get the bearing. Happy?
Yeah.
Oops.
In? No?
No, a little bit further.
And I missed it. I missed it on the camera as well.
Missed what?
I hate taking the bearing out and put it in again.
No, we've got it on the other camera, I'm sure. Missed my moment of
Not quite,
Small
nearly.
enough.
yeah. Does that screw on?
Yeah. No, it doesn't screw on. Just.
So spurious bits of wood, a selection of mallets and hammers, some screwdrivers, a spare pair of hands,
Yeah. Definitely a spare pair of hands.
Allen keys.
Yeah, we only need 2 Allen keys.
What else have you used?
Copious amounts of swearing.
C-spanner.
C-spanner. Ready?
And the biggest tool of all.
Me.
No.
Ready?
He's doing spinny things.
Just got to change the reader.
But at least it's spinning.
Yeah.
And it's quiet.
Perfect.
Don't forget to turn it off before you start twiddling with electrical bits. That goes for you at home too.
Okay. Teeny tiny.
Is it tea time yet?
It'll be cider time after this.
Oh, cider.
Need to get a slushy.
Cider slushies.